Good morning, everyone. This is lecture number 4 in projectile motion, and we were dealing with questions on projectile motion. I think I'd given you a problem last class. That was the problem. A particle is thrown with a velocity u at an angle theta. After some time, it is moving with a velocity v. The acceleration due to gravity is g. Find the angle of this v with x-axis. Anyone could do this? Yes or no? So how are you supposed to do this? We know that the horizontal component of velocity always remains same. If Vx is the horizontal component at any time, that will be equal to Vx. Now, if I say that this angle that this V makes with x-axis, if I call that angle as alpha, the horizontal component will be V cos alpha. At this point, it will be V cos alpha. The initial horizontal component is u cos theta. So from here, you can find out the value of cos alpha. Cos alpha is u cos theta divided by v. So alpha becomes cos inverse u cos theta divided by v. It was so simple. I don't know whether you have tried it or not. In any case, please note it down. I'll give you 2 minutes to do this. I hope we have understood what I have done here. Great. I would have been more happy if you could have done this with your own hands. Anyways.
Done, sir.
That takes us forward in life, and we come to the same diagram that we had already drawn. We had seen some terms over here, and now what we are going to do, we are not going to derive those terms because that is a part that you can do in your regular school class. So we'll just talk about the 3 terms that are going to come here. I told you that the 3 terms that are going to come here are what? One is the maximum height, one is the time of flight, and the third one is the horizontal range. Yes or no? No, yes. These are the 3 terms that we had seen, and let us talk about these terms. How are they related? But before going into that, what we will do is we will write some important points, what we have read about projectile, and then we will write. Okay, first we'll write their formulae, and then probably we can write the important points. So let us now talk about these formulas. Have we discussed the formulae for time of flight and all this? No. Okay, vertical projectile we are done. Okay, so let us find out the things. The first that will come, the first formula is time of flight, capital T. What is the formula for time of flight? It is written as capital T. There are different ways in which I can write it. I can write it as 2u sine theta by g. I can also write it as 2 times uy by g. When as soon as I write it 2 times uy by g, It should remind me of motion in one dimension under gravity, and in that case also your time of flight was same, 2 times uy by g. So if you just remember this one formula, it's valid whether the motion is taking place under gravity in one dimension or it is a projectile motion, an oblique projectile motion which is taking place in 2 dimension. I hope we are understanding what I am saying. Similarly, if someone asks you what is the time taken to go up or what is the time taken to come down, how much will be the time taken to go up or come down? How much will be that?
Uy by G, sir.
It is basically your time of flight divided by 2. So you can write it as uy by g. You can also write it as u sine theta by g. I hope we are making sense about this. So that is the first sort of formulae. I hope everyone is writing them down. How do I derive them? I just make equation along y-axis, and from there I can derive this. The derivation I am not doing because that derivation would already be done in your school class. As soon as we are done with time of flight, we must move on to the next formula, and the next formula is for maximum height. Maximum height, H max. What is the formula for maximum height, H max? Anyone? It is u square sine square theta by 2g. I can also write it as u y square by 2g. H max is uy square by 2g. I hope we are understanding this. Yes or no? That is the formula for maximum height. All these formulas you must remember in whatever ways that you can. The third one is for the horizontal range. Horizontal range R. Now horizontal range R, I can write it in different ways. I can write it as ux multiplied by t. Ux is the horizontal component of velocity, t is the time of flight. I can write it as u cos theta, which is the horizontal component of velocity, multiplied by t. I can put the value of t and I can write it as 2u cos theta into u sin theta. So it becomes 2u square sin theta cos theta by g. 2 cos theta sin theta is sin 2 theta. So I can write it as u square sin 2 theta by g. So these are the 4 different ways in which I can write the same formula for horizontal range. I hope everyone is noting this down. Yes or no? Everyone has noted this down? Okay. Then we can write some important points. So please note down these important points. This is important points. Important point number 1. What is the important point number 1? Time taken to go up, time taken to come down is always equal to total time divided by 2 is equal to uy by g. Time of flight t only depends on time of flight t only depends on uy. That means it only depends on the initial vertical component of velocity. If you keep the vertical component of velocity same, time of flight will remain same. In general, if you talk about in general, time of flight is directly proportional to u. Time of flight is directly proportional to sine theta. Time of flight is inversely proportional to g. I hope you understand this. Yes or no? The next important point is about H max. H max is uy square by 2g. That tells me that H max also only depends on what? It only depends on the vertical component of velocity. So there are two things that only depend on the vertical component of velocity. The first one is time of flight, only depends on the vertical component of velocity. The second thing is H max, it only depends on the vertical component of velocity. I hope this is making sense and you have written it down, yes or no? Okay, that takes us to the next point. And the next point is, when we talk about the horizontal range, range depends both on ux and uy. Range depends on both ux and uy. For complementary angles, you understand the meaning of complementary angles, yes or no? For complementary angles, one angle is theta, the other angle is 90 minus theta. Range will be equal. Do we understand why range will be equal for complementary angles? Because range is u square sine of 2 theta by g for angle theta. For angle 90 minus theta, it will be u square multiplied by sine of 2 times 90 minus theta. Sine of 2 times 90 minus theta becomes sine of 180 minus 2 theta. That will become sine of 2 theta. So both of these range would be coming same. Do we understand this? Talking about complementary angles. For complementary angles, time of flight t1 divided by t2. In first case, the time of flight is 2u sine theta by g. In second case, time of flight is 2u cos theta by g. So if I divide it, I will get tan theta. Do we understand this? Sine theta divided by cos theta. For maximum range, R max, we call it maximum range, the angle of projection theta has to be equal to 45 degrees. I hope you remember this. For maximum range, the angle of projection has to be 45 degrees. If you put the value of maximum range as 45 degrees, angle as 45 degrees, the maximum range will be u square sine of 2 times 45. 2 times 45 is 90, sine of 90 is 1. So will you get the answer as u square by g? Do you understand this? For maximum range, angle of projection has to be 45 degrees. Now, You can also write, if I divide h max by r, if I divide maximum height, which is u square sine square theta by 2g, if I divide it by the range, which is 2 times u square sine theta cos theta by g, what will I get? I will get this. I will get tan theta divided by 4. Remember all these shortcuts. The more the number of shortcuts that you can remember, the better you are going to be. The more the number of shortcuts that you can remember, the better you are going to be. Remember, acceleration along x is equal to 0. That implies Vx is equal to Ux is equal to U cos theta. We remember this. Vertical component of velocity, horizontal component of velocity never changes. Ay is equal to minus g. Ay, acceleration along y is equal to minus g. So the only component that changes, the only component in a projectile motion that changes is the horizontal component. So we can write vertical component. Horizontal component of velocity always remains same. Horizontal component of velocity always remains same. The vertical component of velocity, that is Vy, it changes. Do we understand this? At the highest point, and when I say highest point, that highest point is A. Let me take you to the highest point again. This is the highest point. At highest point, if I talk about the velocity at the highest point will be like this. It will be horizontal. At the highest point, vertical component of velocity is how much? Ma? No one remembers it? The vertical component of velocity is 0. The horizontal component of velocity is always equal to u cos theta. Everyone has forgotten everything. That's not good. At the initial point O, the horizontal component of velocity is u cos theta. The vertical component of velocity is u sine theta. When the body falls, it falls with certain velocity v back on ground. This v also has two components. One is vy and the other one is vx. The value of vy is in the downward direction. So it is minus u sine theta. It is same as the original velocity, as the original speed, but the direction has reversed. Previously it was up, now it is down. The horizontal component of velocity will always remain same, and that will be equal to u cos theta. If you don't do any practice at home, if you come to the class in a jolly good mood without studying anything, trust me, forget your dream of getting anywhere near the gates of an IIT. When you move in the city and you see IIT Hyderabad, don't look that side because that is not the place you are ever going to go. So as soon as you see IIT, look that side. Please study. That is the only way that you can go anywhere near to the gate of the IIT. Otherwise, there would be stalls of tea and Maggie and all those stuff. That is the place where you might be finding your own startup, where you may become IITian Chai Wala or IITian Pan Wala or IITian Maggie Wala. That's the career choice that is always open, and you might become a next multi-million or billion-dollar company. So if you don't get into an IIT, if you remain outside the gate of an IIT, you become a multi-billion-dollar startup. But I think getting into the IIT is the safer option. Getting outside the gate and opening IIT Chai Wala may not work. Anyways, I hope that has shaken you up from your from whatever you are doing. Probably it has shaken you up. It was meant to shake you up. I hope that it has shaken you up enough. At highest point A, horizontal component of velocity is u cos theta. Vertical component of velocity is 0. The total velocity at A will be equal to u cos theta because the vertical component is 0. At point B, where it comes back, the horizontal component of velocity is u cos theta. The vertical component of velocity is minus u sine theta. I'll give you 2 minutes for you to wake up, and instead of looking the other side of IIT, try to find a way inside the gate, and trust me, that's a good place to be in. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to note this down. So everyone has noted this down? Okay, I hope we are still looking at inside the gate of the IIT and not the other way around. Because your chances of doing a startup are brighter when you are inside that IIT. Outside the IIT, you will need a lot of talent to become to start any startup, because no one will know you. But inside the IIT, it's very easy to make a startup. Everyone inside an IIT is doing a startup, and everyone is becoming a multi-billion-dollar startup. Everyone in an IIT becomes one these days. Anyway, so I hope that we are still looking at getting inside that IIT and not the other way around. Because for the other way around, you will need a lot of talent to become an IITian Chai Wala or a IIT aspirant Chai Wala. You will be. You are not IITian. So IIT aspirant Chai Wala. You will need a lot of talent. You will need to make very good tea, and that's not easy. I know it's difficult to make tea. But if you get into an IIT, even if you don't know how to make tea, you will make a startup out of it, because you will find someone who makes good tea, and then you will use your IITian brain to get him into a startup. So the easiest thing that you can do in life is get into an IIT. But for that, you need to do hard work now. If you don't get into an IIT, you will need a lot of talent to make good life of yourself. When I say IIT, I mean any college which is like an IIT or NIT, or even your government college that is there right in front of your eyes, which might be good enough, which might be better than some of the NITs. Anyways, Having said that, let's look at the gate of the IIT and let's hope that we get inside it. This is the first question that comes for us to become an IITian in the future, 2 years from now. And a good news or a bad news, I just now, came to know, yesterday only, that from this year onwards, the JEE exam will happen according to the previous schedule. So you will have first attempt in the month of January and the next attempt in the month of April. If I count that, so your first attempt for JEE Main will be in the month of January 2024. And we only have 14 months at our hands to convert you into an IITian. Yes, what is the answer for this one? In a projectile motion, what is the velocity
U
at
cos
the
theta, sir.
So we have woken up, see? It's good that we wake up sometimes. Sometimes, we eat too much. 2 days back on Sunday, I ate a lot and I could not, 2 days, no, I could not wake up. So my mom came and she shook me up and I was like, okay. Now I have woken up. So. Okay, chalo. Next one. Remember, the questions that are going to come in a JEE main are going to be pretty damn simple. This is a question taken from this. You can just read the question, give the answer, and stay happy always. You must stay happy inside the IIT or outside it. But I want all of you to get inside one, to feel it. The feeling is good enough. No one studies inside an IIT. The only part is to get inside an IIT. Once you get inside an IIT, life is cool. Even if you don't do anything, you will land up somewhere nicely. Yes, my dear friends, what about this? Huh? A projectile is fired at an angle of 30 degrees to the horizontal. The vertical component of velocity is 80 meter per second. Its time of flight is t. What is the velocity at t by 2? What is the velocity at t by 2? Any hope of getting this one? Huh? Do it fast. Do it fast. Time is running out. The only luxury that we don't have is time. Remember, January of 2024, you will have your tryst with destiny. Your first encounter with real life. JEE Main 2024 session 1. Whatever you call it. Not session. Attempt 1, session 1, shift 1. Yes? Anyone with an answer? Or shall I do the needful of solving it? So how I'm going to solve it? Anyone? The angle of projection is given as theta. The vertical.
B, sir.
B, sir. Well done, sir. B, sir is the answer, sir. Good, sir. So B, sir is the answer, and that is good, sir. The vertical component of velocity, that means Vy is given to you. So my theta is 30 degrees. My Vy, which is nothing but u sine theta, is 80. So u into sine of 30 is half, is 80. So u becomes 160. Once you get the value of u, they have asked you the velocity at t by 2. At t by 2, where is the particle? Huh? in IIT, inside it or outside it? Looking to become IITian aspirant chai wala. Yes, where is the particle at T/2?
At Vy is equal to 0, sir.
At the highest point, sir. That is what you say. It is at the highest point T. So again, I go back to the diagram and try to put this information there. At highest point. If I talk in terms of time, at time 0, the particle is here. At time T/2, the particle is here. At time capital T, the particle is here. If I call this as origin, this is range. So how much will be this distance from here to here? From here to here, how much will be the distance?
R/2, sir.
R/2, sir. Well done, sir. So we are still looking at the gate of an IIT and still aspiring to get on the other side of that gate. Go. I mean, you are lucky that you have an IIT in the city that you live. Go and have a look, and then probably you might get more determined to get inside that and be a part of those children. A projectile is 5 with a velocity u at an angle theta with the horizontal. What is the change in velocity when it is at the highest point? Do it fast. Read the question, think about it, give me the answer, and we move ahead in life. That is how you should be doing questions like this. And that is how you will do questions in the JEE Main of 2024. January, session 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Doesn't matter. Yes. What is the change in velocity? When I say change in velocity, they mean the change in velocity between the point of projection and the highest point. What is the change? How much the velocity has changed? Yes. No one knows the answer. In IITs, you have a lot of hostels. Very good ones. Newer IITs, newer hostels. Older IITs, older hostels. They're good places to live. You live among the best in the country at that point in time. So out of a country of 150 or so crore, you're among the top 5,000 or 10,000 in the country. Good place to go. And how do you go there? By solving this question. And if it's taking so long,
The answer u cos theta.
the answer is u cos theta. That is wrong, sir. How did you get u cos theta? Tell me. How did you get it? There must be a reason. If your reason is good enough, I may agree with it. What is the reason? At point O, what is the velocity? Huh?
0.
O is the point from where I throw it. How it can be 0? Then nothing happens. Projectile doesn't become a projectile. At point O, the velocity is, if I call the velocity as VO, initial velocity VO, how much is the initial velocity VO in terms of I and J? U cos theta I plus U sin theta J. Yes or no? What is the velocity at the highest point A? U cos theta into I. So what is the change in velocity? Final velocity minus initial velocity. At the highest point, the velocity is this. You should be able to do this. We have been doing 3 or 4 problems on the same concept, that at the highest point, vertical velocity vanishes. At initial point, vertical velocity was there. At final point, it vanishes. If I subtract 1 from the 2 or 2 from 1, I will end up with what? Huh? That is the change in velocity, my dear friend. And therefore the answer is u sine theta. I hope I am making sense with the argument that I am presenting. Please be careful. You are going to see one of these questions come in the exam. And I really hope that you are able to crack it. IIT, let's crack it. If you don't crack it, well, doesn't matter. Most of the entrepreneurs now, they may not be IITians, but what is in our hands is that we give it a fair try. We at least put in our best. If we don't put in our best, that is where we end up with a problem. A particle or body is thrown with a velocity of 9.8 meter per second, making an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal. It will hit the ground. So what they are asking? They're asking you the time of flight. It will hit the ground after how much time? Do it fast, 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 do it fast. I'll give you 1 minute. If it is taking so long, I think we are on the wrong track. So I should intervene here. You had to find time of flight. The formula is 2u sine theta by g. I don't know what you are calculating for so long. I just don't understand what you are calculating for so long. So time of flight is 2 into 9.8 into sine theta is half divided by g is 9.8 and the answer is 1 second. What were you calculating for so long? Anyways, that was not good. Surprise. Okay, you will get 1 day from today to tomorrow to get used to all these formulae, and I hope that you can get used to all these formulae because you will be needing them, beta. 14 months from now, you are going to appear in your first JEE. For a given velocity, the projectile has same range for two angles of projection. If T1 and T2 are the time of flight in the two cases, then T1 into T2 is proportional to what? Two things you have to understand in this question. They are talking about same range for two angles of projection. I hope you understand the meaning of that. When do we have same range for two angles, same initial speed at different angles? I hope you understand this. Then there are time of flights, and this is one concept that you should remember. Remember, beta, the only way you can get into an IIT is by working hard. And if I find that you are not working hard, then there is a problem. That means we are not giving our best. Trust me, it will take the best of the best to get into an IIT. India has a population of 150 CR. Out of those 150 CR, only 5,000 are going to get seats in an IIT. Only 5,000. So if you want to get into those 5,000 or 10,000, whatever, or 20,000 on the higher side, including all these NIITs and IITs and everything, not more than 20,000. We need to work hard. If we don't get it, then that hard work is going to pay somewhere else. But if you don't work hard, if you are enjoying your life now, well, it's good that you can enjoy your life, but then you must be a grandson or daughters and sons of Tatas or Birlas. Those are the only kids that enjoy at this point in time. Otherwise, not. If you are a son of a normal Indian just like me, you must work hard. Okay, anyone with an answer? So I have same range for two angles. So those two angles would be what? Those two angles would be what? They would be complementary angles.
Option B.
Option B is not correct. Yes, option B is correct. Well done. Chalo. Option B, I thought option B is not correct. Yes, option B is correct. Well done. So if you just keep your what focus at the point where it should be, you are a math student, and at one point in time you will see a geometrical figure called ellipse. It has two focuses. That is the problem with an ellipse. The focus keeps on shifting from here to here, from here to here. Don't be an ellipse, be a circle. So your focus remains at the center of the circle, and you're always aspiring to go towards it. And that center of the circle is your IIT, and this is your motion that we are going to do. So how are we supposed to do this? So the angles are complementary. For that, range is same. Now that range can be written as, we have got 4 or 5 ways of writing the range, but I will write it as 2 times u square cos theta sin theta by g. We have to look for the most appropriate way. Now, if I talk about the first time of flight T1, T1 is the time of flight at an angle theta. So it will be 2 u sin theta by g. Do we understand this? Let me talk about the second time of flight. That will be for an angle 90 minus theta. So instead of theta, I put 90 minus theta. I will get T2 as 2 u cos theta by g. Remember, JEE is not cleared in the examination hall. We are clearing it now. Whatever things that we can do and keep in our head. What is happening here? Okay, so I already told you the ratio of T1 by T2. Yes or no? So you divide 1 by 2, you will end up with tan theta. Remember it. There could be a question that is straightforward this. Now let us multiply T1 and T2. That was also one of the formula that I wanted to give you, but I thought that it is better done in the way of an example, because I think this question can come in your JEE. So T1 multiplied by T2, you multiply both. So when you multiply both, you multiply this gentleman with this gentleman. And what do you get when you multiply this gentleman with this gentleman? You will end up with 4 by g square, or I can just write it as I will write it in a different form so that you can remember it. I can write it as 2 by g multiplied by 2 times u square sin theta cos theta by g. Now this entire thing actually becomes your range. So basically I can write T1, T2, and remember this as a formula 2R by G. Now the concept is very simple. T1, T2 is 2R by G, T1 by T2 is tan theta, and the only option that matches is option B, and that happens to be the correct option. Do we understand this? Remember, The more you do question, the more is the chances that same or similar question will come. And if you are really working hard, same question, even with the same values will come. JEE Main is so simple. Remember, you don't need any talent to get into an IIT. You only need to work hard. Working hard is no talent. I never had any talent with me. I could not sing, so I could not get into those singing contests. I could not become Indian Idol. That time there was no Indian Idols. But even if there was Indian Idol, I would have never become an Indian Idol. I would not have become a dancing star because I don't know how to dance. I could not have become a cricket player because I could not play that good cricket. I could not become a football player. It needed talent. I was a talentless boy. I'm still a talentless boy. No talent at all. Zero talent. So what did I do? Study. It requires no talent. Keep on doing one thing, dung, 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 and you end up in an IIT, chilling out, working on the next billion-dollar company. Okay, this one. For a given angle of projection, the horizontal range is doubled. Angle of projection remains same. The horizontal range is doubled. What about the time of flight? If you have talent, become Indian Idol. If you don't have, get into an IIT. That is the only thing talentless people like me can do. It only requires focus. Focus. I don't know if you have ever seen a Ghoda Gadi, you know that horse cart. Have you seen a horse cart? Yes or no? In that horse cart, if you look at the horse, when I was small, we used to go in a horse cart in the school. That horse has got this two thing like this. And the horse cannot see here, horse cannot see here. Horse just looks straight. So you should be a horse and you should put a thing like this, and the only thing that you see is an eye. Focus. Yes.
Sir, answer C, sir.
Answer C, sir. Answer C is correct, sir. How did you get this answer, sir? It is pretty simple, and I shall do the needful. So if I write range, and now I will use this formula for range, so that I can make my point quicker. Range is u square sine 2 theta by g for a given. Oops, wrong color. I don't. For a given angle of projection, so angle of projection is same. So this is same. G always remains same. So basically, I can write your range is proportional to u square. If I talk about the time of flight, it is 2u sine theta by g. Angle is same. Okay. Angle is same. So this is same. Try to do something quickly, which you should not have done. Things like that. Okay. So it has got stuck. So basically, time of flight, if you can see, it directly depends on u, and range directly depends on u square. So when you make the range 2 times, the initial velocity becomes root 2 times. Do we understand this? And time of flight is proportional to, okay, let me try it again. I think I can get it working. Okay, you see it now? So basically time of u is same. So this goes away, this goes away. This is constant, so this goes away. So I can say that time of flight is proportional to u, right? Range has become double. So new speed u dash will become root 2 times of u. So you newer t dash will become root 2 time of t. Do we understand this? So if you keep your focus clear, I'm sure that you can do a lot better than what I did. The rank that I got was 1826. With whatever talent or whatever hard work I had done. And I could not do better than that. And I don't regret it. I hope you can do better. You are a lot better than me. So you can do a lot better than this. On that note, I wind up today's class. I hope that you go and read each and every word that you have written, because they are all gold dust. People call it stardust, dust of stars. Well, one of those points will be coming in the exam, and that will help you in getting inside that gate and not waiting for your turn outside it, because that requires talent. Okay, so I'll meet you in the next class. Take care. Have a nice day. God bless you all. Please study before coming to the class. Please do that. Bye bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.